How do you embrace your cultural identity when you have several? This is a question that artist Louis Gong of Squamish, Nooksack, Chinese, French, and Scottish heritage has grappled with in his work. The solution? Combine traditional with pop culture. Here is Walking in Two Worlds.
Got your shoe. Don't see him? Okay.
What the hell you talking about? Why is everybody smoking meth and rocking now?
Louis Gong stumbled onto an idea that raised him to new heights. It all started with a pair of Vans shoes and a Sharpie.
And what came out was a merger of my traditional Coast Salish art with a whole bunch of other influences thrown in. And I realized I had stumbled on to something that people would respond to really positively. And it wasn't just because of the aesthetic of, my design on the shoe. It was the statement about identity, that the merger of the traditional art form and those other cultural influences and a pop culture icon like Vans was making to people.
The demand for Gong's artsy shoes has really stepped up. His Facebook page has over 3,000 fans, and his order requests are already filled for the year. On top of that, a documentary about his work is being featured at film festivals around the world. He was even featured at the Aboriginal Fashion Showcase during the Olympics in Vancouver.
And of course at the Olympics I was able to showcase it to people from all around the world. And what I found was that people, regardless of their background or geography or nationality, respond really positively to my shoes.
These custom works of art connect with all walks of life, but he is really doing this for the 8th generation. Making shoes for students who are positive role models in their communities is an important part of the process. For Geneva Mendez, it was a perfect fit. These custom kicks represent her identity.
I would wear them with pride, yeah. I don't know how, I guess to reflect just the design of them is native, so I guess it reflects that side of me.
If you want to get it perfect, I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, so I like to get it perfect.
By giving shoe workshops, Gong is educating people about mixed race issues, one step at a time.
Today, I went to speak to a group of high school students at Kent Meridian High School to just share a little bit of information about what I know about how to make custom shoes. And the goal was to give them a license to sort of champion their identity and express that through art. And so if you ever see the ovoid, you know it's probably Northwest Coast style art. Also, I think by showing kids the work that I'm doing and explaining how it's traditional and contemporary at the same time, and anchoring it in pop culture, whether I'm working on skateboard or shoe, it's making that traditional art form relevant to their contemporary lives in ways that it hasn't been relevant before. With what you got here, I would sort of think about
He might be making some changes to traditional artwork, but by making culture relevant to the next generation, Gong is part of a cultural evolution.
Yeah, it'd be pretty interesting. It's important for us to do, because culture, whether it's reflected in the way we live our daily lives, our religion, or our artwork, changes and grows over time to match what the reality of our contemporary lives are.
Gong is also branching out with other alternatives that connect with youth.
Hey, Louis.
He collaborates with his uncle, John, and together they create art from pieces of wood. John cuts and prepares the wood, and Gong applies his designs.
The big thing was these skateboards that we started to manufacture out of some traditional Native American woods, which is yellow cedar and red cedar, which is very sacred wood to the Native Americans. And basically we've been working together with, putting things together, and his exploiting his artwork on all of this stuff.
Even though he is receiving a lot of attention, he says what he's doing is far from original.
To think that doing custom shoes with native designs on it is new is ridiculous because, you know, moccasins were custom footwear.
With dynamic opportunities ahead, Gong always has one goal in mind.
I want to continue to explore the art that I'm doing now as a resource for continuing to educate not just kids, but people in general about identity and about history and about our future too. Typically, we see our icons being appropriated and commercialized, and so I feel like by taking something like a piece of pop culture and making it a reflection of who we are as people so that it appeals to us, I'm flipping that script a bit.
By bridging the gap between traditional and popular culture, Gong is walking in two worlds in style.
Yeah, walking in two worlds, or for some people walking in multiple worlds, means just being able to move back and forth between different spaces, whether they're physical spaces or cultural environments, in an effective and very bold way, and all the while just being yourself.
What the hell you talking about? Why is everybody smoking meth and rocking out?
Thank you for joining us. To watch this show and other episodes, go to ctvbc.ca and click on First Story. I'm Shannon Catholic.
Kids in Canada with nothing in the fridge, and children in the Middle East fighting for religion. Kinda seems like